we'll take a dip in what is ahead of us next 4 weeks. Today will be a little slow, a very interesting session although. And you will see how the whole program is arranged as well. That's what my purpose of today's class is. So few people will be missing. They have informed us as well, but we are still expecting few people to join. Let me welcome you all to ESG Pro Mastery Institute. Now this will be your family for lifetime. Trust me, this group you will love the most in all your professional life. Why? First of all, pan India and not pan India. Now, a lot of people from international places has also joined from UAE, Saudi Arabia, etc. So you will have a multicultural interaction, and people who are going to become your friend here have nothing to do with you. They have no expectation from you, and such kind of bonding remains there for lifelong. When only interest is supporting each other and growing together, then the real bonding happens. And this is what has we have done in our engineering colleges, graduations, in schools. But when we come to that race, Alakesh Mehta ji will tell us more. It becomes very difficult to make good friends. But I hope you guys will become friends for life. That's trust me, and that happened in past with many groups we have. We never close these groups, okay? Like cohort 26 will never get closed. We will be also creating two groups out of this cohort 26. There will be group A and group B. Why we do that? So that we can have a competitive edge in both the groups and both participants, contribute maximum to the program. So welcome back. And today we are dividing into something which affects everybody's life, every organization, company where we work, every businesses you find any, and I will show you this particular thing is driving the business today. Yeah. And every person on earth is getting impacted, and that is greenhouse gas emissions and climate change. You might be ignorant to the fact that climate change is happening, and there are a few people, even some country head is also, in that race who believes that, there is no climate change. But it is impacting everyone, trust me. If you believe Earth is, round, not flat, and there are several groups that are there on internet, you can find them, and many people join. I am hearing that Flat Earth group has millions of followers. Yeah. So you can, you can believe whatever you want to believe. But point here is still science beats upside down any such kind of theory. Now, over one and a half hour, that's the timing which we are expecting today to engage. I'm going to show you, and you are going to explore. Somebody's start their camera. So Tahir, I agree. Please complete your introduction.
Yeah, so I tried to learn myself the things, but I couldn't. I found that it is very important to have the discipline, follow the structure program if you want to learn, and someone to motivate you, someone to push you, and also, no doubt, your self-interest is very important. So that's why I I was before joining this. I was watching the ESC Mysteries YouTube videos. I have watched many other videos as well, and but I found it very good way and good program. So that's why I joined this. And in the company, what I do uh, in my experience, I'm handling EcoVadis, S&P questionnaires, UNGC, and also involved in the GHG calculations. But we already have the tool developed, established. As what we do, we just collect the data from our different plants, and it auto generate the reports, and we see. But when I sometimes we face any error, anything, so it becomes difficult to understand why the problem. But I have many concepts. I got double counting, under counting, uh, over counting, or scope 1, scope 2, scope 3, and feedstocks, flows, and all the basic, but not at one place all the structure information. Yes, I have built a small inventory, except 10 of which previously we do not have for the fugitive emissions and for the mobile combustion data which were missing. And during one audit by the DNV, it was identified. Then I worked just on MS Excel sheet, uh, took the activity data, or sorry, not for this, for fuel combustion data or mobile combustion, and for the refrigerant, the usage inventory from our stores, and took an on that basis I
You
diaphragms, emission factors, and yeah.
awesome, awesome.
So
So you have done end to end
thank
of
you, thank you so
everything.
much,
No, no, pleasure is our
thank you so
side,
much.
and welcome to the program. Thank you very much for being there. And many people will approach you to take guidance on EcoVadis and writing report when we will actually starting writing. And that is how the group works, right? Everybody contributes to at their end while participating in program like ours, where program is not only going to get delivered by me, but actually everybody together will come and help. Two more people, quick introduction is pending from Dronesh. You have to start your camera, Dronesh. And I think one more person is Anandu. Anandu, you introduced yourself last time, right?
Yeah, hello, sir.
Hi.
Dronesh here.
Okay, 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 okay. Please go ahead, Dronesh. Quick introduction to the colleagues.
Yeah, yesterday also, sir, I was the first person to introduce. Okay,
I
and
know.
today is the last person. Okay, so hello, everyone. My name is Dronesh Joshi, and I'm from Indore. So I started my working in 2019 in office space, commercial and corporate, like interior and exterior as a assistant project manager, project manager. And after that, I worked in that field like two years around, something a 1.5 year with experience with higher management basically. And then after I started pursuing for IRM in enterprise risk management, I did, and then there is a breakdown of my career between that, and I'm looking for the transition of my career from project management. I mean, project management will be there, but from the office space into the risk management part. So currently, I'm pursuing with the FRM, financial risk management. I'm looking for ASEA sustainability and climate risk management, environmental issues, CSR, corporate social responsibility. I'm into it. I'm working with NGOs also, and part of that also. So I think carbon accounting will be the very good,
Starting point.
very good future starting point for enabling me to showcase my ability for that
Technical
part.
skill. Yeah.
So yeah, technical. So my manager and technical part will be very useful for this, as I'm basically coldly from civil engineering and then project management area. So I think this will
Did you
help
do
me a lot.
PMP,
And
Ronesh? Did you do PMP?
no, 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 sir.
Assessment.
Because yeah, I was looking for instead of PMP, I was looking for RMP.
RMP. Okay.
Risk, yeah. So my focus was totally onto the risk part also. So currently I'm working, I mean, basically approaching and giving my whatever I know, the knowledge about the financial part, financial risk market and credit part. So I'm just providing that knowledge and acquiring from everyone about the carbon accounting and climate risk management.
Awesome.
So yeah,
Awesome. Welcome to the program, Runes. And there are several
yeah,
civil
thank you.
engineers this time by basic profession. Of
Okay,
course, none of them are
yeah.
following, but we have a good group as well from civil engineering side. So welcome to the program. Let's go to quickly. Anandu, you have introduced yourself last time, right? Anandu Achari.
Uh, Yes, sir, I did, sir.
Okay, great. So we will straight away going to nobody is left for introduction, right? Everybody has introduced to each other. If you have not watched our previous video, please make sure that you watch it because there is a very good story to start with. Now, today, welcome to ESG Pro Mastery Institute. As I said, we are going to go into something which every business, every person is getting impacted. And the next 1 hour, 1 hour half, we will be looking into what climate actually looks like, what the change looks like there, why greenhouse gases matters in climate change, why they are linked, how they are linked, what is the world doing about it, what exactly world is currently working on it, What are the different agreements we are doing to control the menace in form of climate change? And most importantly, how you can measure and reduce emissions through GHG accounting, the fundamentals. So by end of this module one, my purpose is that your foundation is well built. Civil engineers knows it very well. And without foundation, no building can sustain even next 6 months. So foundation has to be built so strong that you can create a multi-story building without even having a hitch about what will happen to that building in any unforeseen circumstances. That's my duty for next 1 week with you in these classes. So by end of this module, you will not only understand what is the science behind this greenhouse gases. So you come from finance background, don't get bogged down. I will make sure that you can speak the language of environmental scientist. Of course, you can't do what they have done in 2 year, 4 year. You can't do it in a day. But what you can do is you can understand what they are talking. That's the level of science you need to know. And science people, engineers, I will make sure that you understand what kind of accounting are we talking? What kind of finances are we discussing here? What is debit and credit in carbon? That is what my duty for next 1 week is. So welcome to the program. And look, I always say, imagine Earth at the center of everything here. For all the discussion which we are saying is all about Earth, not about a country, not about your company, not about you even. It is about Earth, which is like a car with a blanket over it. The blanket keeps it warm, right? Which is a good, and I will give you an example as well little later. But when we add too much stuff to the air, the blanket gets thicker and the car gets too hot. And that's what is happening. Have you watched Instagram reel where somebody is trying to do an experiment with a car? And this is a car, first of all, how many of you understand that carbon has no color? Put yes in chat box or you say yes. Do you know carbon has no color? There is no color. What you see as a smoke coming out of cars and all is not carbon. Carbon, if you are using a laptop right now joining this program, your screen might be 1920 by 1080, right? That's the pixel you will see on the screen. Just imagine four of those pixels are carbon. Can you even see it? On this whole screen, those are only 4 pixel, 1920 by 180, 1080. Nowadays, people are using 2K, 4K, right? You have TV of 4K, 4000 pixel sizes. Just imagine four of those dots, which is not invisible. I'm talking about that. So I always say this is an invisible devil which you have to understand and then work towards. And that coming out, so this reel actually shows exactly that. They put on a silencer of a car, one big plastic, and they just kept the car on. Within 2 minutes, that plastic has blown out of proportion. And that's they said that this is the emission we are doing, just not by knowing it. So when we watch in TV that we should stop when you are stopping a car on signal, you should switch off. We feel bad about it, right? Because we are not used to. But that is where we are saving the planet. So it's as small as that. That's what the basis of climate change we have to understand. Now, my job to you in this program, here is the fourth thing which I am going to cover in next 4 week. Yeah, overall, I'm just telling you that you should be master in GHG accounting. That's my target. To enhance any organizational performance, you should be able to understand the carbon accounting, include scope one, two, three emissions with a real world example, not imaginary ones. And this is the practice which you will do in class so that you can link everything with the practical world. What does this mean to you? That you will learn how to count emissions. Those same four dots on your screen, you need to learn how to count those. Okay? Not by looking at screens, by looking at some emission factors. We will be learning that as well. An entire value chain, not only in your company, but entire value chain. That's the goal number one. Goal number two, you should also learn how to mitigate. And what are those mitigation strategies which different sector requires different ways? which are actionable. So you can suggest to your companies wherever you are doing advisory, or you can create for your own company sector specific climate solutions. That's what we will do in the goal number 2. Goal number 3, you will understand the climate change which drives the impactful, sustainability initiatives. That's what we'll be learning. So climate science matters here. You will definitely have a hands-on skill where you can lead climate reporting with a confidence. That's the ultimate goal we have with this program. Now, in the first module, these are the 3 goals I have kept for you. If you achieve those goals, I am happy. And you should make sure, even though few of you are quite aware about the stuff. Tahir, you heard, right? He told you a story that how much he knows. But still, I'm saying just look through my lenses. You know it, but try to unlearn what you know and try to learn with the new lens. Because sometime, if I have 2 glasses, right, and one glass is full, another glass is half full, and I start pouring the water. Just imagine that scenario. What will happen? Up to it gets full, it's fine. After that, the water will spill, right? I don't want you to spill water. What you need to do, just empty that glass and try to see it with a new lens. Let the glass filled again. That's my not request, that's a requirement of this program. Yeah. And that is the goal number 1, that understand the fundamental from point of view of principle, why those principles have been created of the climate change. Then second, basics of greenhouse effect. I will make it very simple because we have scientists, science side people, we have commerce side people. So I will keep it so neutral, both party can understand and relate with it. And you will never forget. My goal is that you are not learning something, you are practicing so you remember it. When we do that report writing every day, we know what to write there when I'm signing off that document, correct or wrong? That's the habit. That is what I want to build. So when we will go to goal number 2, we'll talk about how this greenhouse gas um, create some effect and what are those sources where from these greenhouse gases comes, because your job tomorrow will not be copy pasting somebody else's work. Your job will be to create your own carbon accounts, right? So you need to know under which activity of this company, and it might be different company, right, where could be the source of emissions. And for that, you need not to be environmental scientist. That's what I'm telling you. For that, you have to have a knack and a habit of catching patterns. That is what we will learn when we will learn that which gases comes from where, what are the natural sources, what are the human sources, and then you can link with the business operation. Last goal from module 1, which will be next to next class most probably, that you will get an insight on international climate change agreements as well. Let's start with first question. Okay. Whole class, and that is why I requested you guys keep your camera on because we will interact. We will not be only I am talking. Yeah. Everybody will be talking. So let me ask you this question, everyone. In one word, how do you feel about climate change? Write in the chat box or you can unmute and talk about it. I don't mind. This is open class. Everybody can unmute and talk. But you can also type and in the chat box and I will read those answers, right? What do you think of, oh, let me open the chat box. Okay, now it's open. Go ahead. Yeah, in one word, how do you feel about climate change? Do you feel worried? Do you feel concerned? Do you hopeful? Are you overwhelmed? Do you think it is killing humanity? You think it is impacting? Whatever, one word, just one word in the chat box. Or you can unmute, whichever way you are comfortable. I don't know which way you guys are comfortable. Okay.
Right, sir, to share.
Dhrunesh, sorry, I didn't get you. Come
Yeah,
again.
yeah. Sir, my one word, I think it will be very different. Like what
Tell
we are
me.
living today, in the house itself, if I say, and when I feel this summer, I mean the summer which went, those 2 months in India, first time I felt like suffocated,
This is
very
your
much.
own experience. Your own experience, yeah?
Yeah, it's my own experience. I mean, people who are living with me. So they same thoughts that it is suffocating and it's increasing the concern. I mean, day by day, hours by hour, due to the variation in the temperature, and it even at the night, it was like a 30 degree, 31 degree, 32 degree. So it was like
Which
some
location,
nights it
which
was
which
it
part of India you
yeah.
are joining us from?
So I'm in Indore.
Indore. Oh my God, in
Yeah,
Indore, this is the situation. That's really
yeah.
bad.
So this summer it was very surprising for me. I mean, I didn't even feel when I was living in Mumbai for 4 years, this temperature. I didn't ever feel. I mean, I used to live in Andheri West, so I never felt like this. But in this time, this year, I mean, in the summer, it was like, I mean, I
And by
was
the way,
like, we are,
just
yeah,
to let everybody know, Indore is the cleanest city in India.
cleaners. Yeah,
Cleanest,
yeah.
cleanest.
It's changing now. It's changing, sir.
Yeah, absolutely. So I can see many of you are writing discomfort, high risk, concerned, climate change impact, human as well, natural and nature badly, quality concerns of life itself. Darshit says guilty. Palit says challenging, right? Highly impact on the human, but other species as well. Indeed, everybody is getting disturbed. Thank you. You have just named the emotions that drive the real action, ladies and gentlemen. These are the emotions which you are saying that I am feeling suffocated, I am feeling challenged, right? I'm feeling that not only human being is getting disturbed, even the animals are getting, other species are getting impacted. Ecology is getting disturbed. That's the human problem, right? Climate change not a data problem. Climate change is a human problem. And that's why measuring that, reducing the drivers for that climate change, which is nothing but greenhouse gas emission, which is why GHG accounting is important today. This is exactly what GHG accounting does. It measures and try to reduce. So it is very important. Your emotions combined with data and action is what changes the industry, ladies and gentlemen. Imagine you have a piggy bank in your house, okay? Your kid has kept it. And you are spending more than, or your kid is spending more than what you have given them in the pocket money, okay? Each month, what will happen? He will try to negotiate with you, either ask you to increase the pocket money or break that piggy bank. If you don't measure how much you are spending, can you fix that problem? If the kid doesn't start measuring how much he is spending, can he understand that his pocket money is still enough? That is what we are doing with emissions today, measuring them so that we can fix them. Now, another one more question to you guys. What do you think this is the biggest challenge in addressing the climate change? So you felt suffocated, you feel it is challenging. What is that biggest challenge? Why climate change is not getting resolved so easily? Give me one reason. Yeah, cost. Somebody is saying cost. Somebody is saying lack of technology. If you can't measure, you can't manage. Well said, Tahir. Yes, that is also a reason. Absolutely. Somebody is saying political will. Absolutely correct. Political will. Yeah, if the government doesn't want, then nobody follows. Drill, baby, drill. Just dance on 2025th. Yeah, in January, somebody danced on a song called Drill, baby, drill. Yeah, whole country went jubilant. Accountability. Absolutely correct. Yes. Excellent answers. Please keep everyone. Look, you cannot hide in this class. We have that is why I keep only 15 people class all the time, 15 to 16. We will add one or two students. That's it. Okay. You can't hide behind this screen. Okay. I'm seeing you. So please write it. Okay. Write it whatever you feel like. Of course, if you are traveling, you are in high risk scenario like Sebinin, he's on a shop floor. So he cannot write it. I will not advise him to do that. But if you are in position to write, please do write. Okay. Not taking responsibility is one of those reasons. I agree with you, Divya. High risk of future human being. Absolutely. That is a risk as well. What is stopping people to take action? Prasad says the identification of root causes. Nobody is going to root cause. Everybody is finding a solution just by looking into answer which has been previously given. Yeah, cheat book use कर रहे हैं सब. Accountability is very challenging. Absolutely. Nobody is taking accountability. I agree with you. Yes. And these are the excellent answers. These are all real answers. Okay. But what we know from data also need to be seen, Subham. Only companies making effort is not enough. I agree with you. Government has to also take care. Individual also has to get accountable for their emissions. Biswas saying not enough knowledge as well. Awareness is one of the biggest problem. I agree. And let me tell you what data is saying in the market. Okay, several research has been done. The data says cost isn't it a barrier anymore. Earlier, that was a problem. Cost was a problem. Renewable energy is now much cheaper than the fossil fuel, but still people are not adopting in most of the region. India's solar cost dropped by 90%. Are you aware about it? 11 rupee we pay per unit of electricity, 11 rupee. Yeah, if I have to convert into dirhams, maybe zero point 0.1, right? 10 baja. Yes, that's the number we pay for electricity per unit. But you know, solar comes at what rate? Less than 2 rupees. 0.01 baza. 1 baza maybe, not 10 baza, 1 baza. That's the price of solar energy. In last decade, we have achieved this. So cost is not a problem. Somebody said technology, lack of, willingness. Please understand, we can measure, we can reduce and offset emission right now. There are technology available. Offsetting ke liye carbon credit is available. So what is missing? Organizations that measure their emissions can commit to reducing them, no? Or individual who can measure their emission, they can commit to it. Who does not measure, Tahir said that, right? What you can't measure, you will never manage, you will never reduce. And hence, climate challenge remains a challenge. Climate change remains a challenge. That is what GHG accounting enables. So by end of this boot camp, you will be the person who will bring this clarity to your organization or your governments, wherever you are contributing to. Clear? And let's start our session today. 3 years ago, I sat with a farmer. And let me tell you this story before I do anything today. Outskirts of Bangalore, right? How many of you have heard about Hosur? Yeah, industrial zone, but there are farmers there. His name was Rajesh. He would have been growing, coffee in Chikmagalur for a long time. Yes, in his same field for 40 years in Chikmagalur. This is one of the finest coffee in India. In Chikmagalur, you will find. Okay. 40 years he's doing it in and out. And he told me something which I haven't forgotten till date. And I used his example in every boot camp. This is the 26th boot camp for greenhouse gas. And I have done it in every one of those. What he said, listen to me very carefully. And if you are making notes, write it down because this will change your perspective that your mistake is making somebody else to pay a price which he never ever even imagined in his lifetime. He's not educated. He's not driving those, Lamborghinis, which I am driving. Clear? He said like this, the monsoon, and he just came out of COVID. Everybody remembers the pain of COVID 2020 and 2021, right? He came out of COVID 2022, 23 was the year he is talking to me. And he said this, listen to me. The monsoon which used to be before COVID got improved at the time of COVID. Every year in June, we used to get the monsoon in Deccan Plateau, right? In his area. Reliable. We used to plan all these actions around all our, harvesting, planting, seeding, all the agriculture strategy used to be fixed on June. I am using my language. Of course, I can't use his language. Last year, in 2022, he said, in July, monsoon came. 2 years ago, it was in May because things improved, so it came little early. This year in 2023, when I was talking to him, we were sitting in August and he was not sure when the monsoon will come. And you won't believe 2026, it has got repeated. Exact same story. In 2026, if you are in India, you know that for sure. There is a huge deficit of monsoon in July. Forget about June. July, there was a huge deficit. And that is why he is terrified without knowing what exactly behind the scene is happening. He wasn't worried about yield, that how much this time coffee beans will come out. He was worried about being able to predict anything in his agriculture system. You don't know when uncertainty comes to your head what happens to your life. Have you observed whenever we are about to leave a job, join a new job, or we are transiting from one country to another country, what we face? Is it easy? These guys are facing every year without their mistake. Here is the most people don't realize. Rajesh's problem wasn't weather. Weather changes daily, ladies and gentlemen. It's a climate which has an issue right now. The 30 years average is already been changed. He's not aware about. And his 30-year average is shifting faster than ever in human history. Yes. How can he guess it now? Because since 7050, ladies and gentlemen, write down that date, year at least, we have been pumping invisible gases into the air. Invisible gases, and that is carbon dioxide, methane, nitrous oxide, fluorinated gases. Nobody sees them. All these gases, nobody sees them. Nobody tests them. There is no test to all this. But they are there trapping heat like a blanket, getting thicker every year. You remember the free season? We talked about thickness of the blanket and thinning of the blanket. Blanket over Earth is warming, and that warming in 2023 is already crossed. Now it is boiling. Antonio Guterres, Secretary General of United Nations, right, has said in July 2023 this is statement that forget about the era of global warming. Now we are in the era of global boiling, which Drones was citing little earlier. Yeah. And here is the part which matters to you most. Most organizations know climate change is real, including states and governments. The problem they have is no idea what they are contributing to. What exactly they are, contributing to this climate change. A CFO in a company, right, does not know what his company is emitting. He's not a technical guy. Biswas has done several audits, right? He can vouch for this. They don't care how you operate. They care how much money you made at the end of the day. That's it. An operation manager does not know which of her facilities is the biggest emitter. They don't care about that as well. Their job is there is a production plan. They have to meet that plan. Alakesh ji will vouch for that. A supply chain lead does not know if his suppliers are carbon intensive or not. They are just flying blind. And that's where you come in. All of you, 15 of you on my screen right now, all of you comes here. Because you are going to become that person who will make all of them to stop guessing. You are going to measure that emission with a precision, convert them into a common language called carbon dioxide equivalent, CO2 equivalent. Write it down. This is the word you will live by. Like dollar and rupees, we live by in financial statement. In carbon accounting, we will live by unit called carbon dioxide equivalent. Compare them with the benchmarks, not your peer, maybe industry. Set reduction target based on international provisions and report the progress. This is what you are going to do. So you are going to give your organization number they actually can trust. Because here is the truth. You cannot reduce what you cannot measure, correct? And you cannot claim progress which you cannot prove. Can you claim anything? That becomes greenwashing. How many of you have heard about greenwashing? Write it down. We'll be hearing more or less every day of our sessions. Every alternate day we are going to meet, and you are going to meet every day virtually. So make sure that you remember this word. And that will change today. I am going to walk you to the science of climate change. Don't worry, it is not complicated. I will start with very basic. At the heart, it is as simple a story as too much of carbon dioxide and other gases in atmosphere trapping too much of heat. And over next few slides, we will break it down what climate actually is, what greenhouse gases does, what CO2 is the villain, why it is a villain, and in how human activity is making it more. So let us get started with the basic first. And let me ask you another question, guys. Tell me, what is the difference between climate and weather in your own language? Just tell me. What do you think climate is? What do you think weather is? And definitely they are not same thing. That I can tell you before you answer me. Go ahead and tell me each of you, and I'm coming to each of you this time one by one. Let me go to Dibya first. Dibya, please, ladies first.
Weather actually changes frequently
Okay,
within time, the short time, as we can say.
short.
Climate actually we take a longer span of that. It's actually a bigger span, like 3 months, like that, and all we take and take that, like summer, winter, like that, that much
So you are saying weather is a very short period,
short,
up to
yeah,
three
and
months.
changes frequently. Yes,
Correct. Very good.
in a day itself we do have different temperatures. So yes.
Correct. Absolutely correct. Let me go to now Anandu. Anandu, what do you see the difference between weather and climate? You have to unmute Anandu.
Okay,
Yes,
sorry.
go ahead.
I, can you hear me, sir?
Yes, yes.
Weather is the short-term condition in a given region, and while the climate is the uh, long averaged condition of the same region. If you
Very good. So long-term pattern changes are climate, short-term pattern changes are weather. Very good. So time is what you are also mentioning. Second,
weather.
let me go
Yes,
to Alakesh ji. Your answer, please. What do you think about climate and what do you think about weather? How they are different?
Weather is a short-term thing. Climate is the average of the whole year.
So years, average of years is the climate,
Yes.
and short term again is the weather. Very good. Prasad, let me come to you.
Weather is the time bounded and with some boundaries, while the climate is, we
Very
can
good.
say, it's universal or has big picture.
Very good. Very good. So you're saying that geography also plays a role. The boundary also plays a role here. Wonderful. Good stuff. So time and boundary. Let me go to now Vishwas.
It's for like weather is for small, say example, which will rain or not like that, and a small time frame. And
Time.
climate is also the like a larger time period, say 10 years, 20 years.
Well,
Say like last you asked like why you want to do ESG. Because I used to travel a lot from my childhood. So whenever I go to Himalaya, Himalaya area.
yes.
Compared to 20 years back and right now, like it's total difference. The hill used to be ice, like in Himalayan areas. Nowadays, there is
Yes.
so that
Yes.
I have seen with my own eyes. So I want, like at least something should be there to control those things.
Which is missing. Many mountain tops are without any ice. I agree with you. Very good. Well said. Subham, what do you think?
Already most of people have said about it. What I can say is like weather is can be changed like morning, afternoon, or evening. When we come to the climate, it is like average of many days or months, like year something.
So many months of data is a climate. Absolutely correct. Sebin, or let me go to Vilas ji. I think Sebin must be in the shop floor. Vilas ji, please tell us. You are on mute. You are on mute. You have to unmute.
Hello, sir.
Yes, please go ahead.
Climate change impacts are very high, sir. They impact total
Very
human
well
and
said.
Earth also.
Very well
Earth
said.
also, our total environment around us. And
Correct.
weather impacts are only considering only that area or that specific period.
Local, and climate is
Yes,
little
yes,
global.
yes, yes.
Absolutely correct. Very good. Pradeep, what's you think? What do you think? And then I will go to Darshit. Pradeep.
Yeah, so according to me, weather is what happens in the atmosphere over short period. That that by that I mean, it short periods might be from minutes to days, while climate is the average of this long term weather, which is more than 30 or more years for a specific region. Sorry.
Absolutely. Well said. Well said. Okay, Darshit, what do you think between difference between weather and climate?
So, as I written, the climate is global, so it will impact globally, and weather is regional. So, even it will impact, the impact will be bigger, but that impact will be limited to a region.
Well said. Well said. So it's a region specific. Great. Anybody else wants to go ahead? Drones or anyone? Let me open that.
Okay. So I'll say about whether it is time based because what happens in particular time if we say like an hour, okay. So there will be varieties of seasons you can see. Sometimes you can see the rain also, and then you will feel the summer also. Okay,
Correct.
and then sudden the rain. So it is time based with the variation. Sudden changes will be there, and it's seasonal also, right? Which India follows basically. So, and the climate is it's a longer impact.
Longer.
Okay, and slowly it will increase. It will not decrease ever. It will only increase.
Absolutely right. So let me summarize it for all, Anandu. Let me summarize it for you as well. So weather is what happens today, this week, this month, right? It changes constantly and dramatically. Weather changes very fast and changes completely. Somebody said, right? Right now it's raining. After half an hour, it will be completely sunny. That's weather. Example, today is 28 degrees centigrade and sunny. That's what the weather is in Kashmir. Of course, not in Bangalore. Tomorrow, it will rain. Weather is very local. Somebody said in Delhi, weather is different from the Bangalore weather. Absolutely correct. Weather changes in hours or days. Fact is, hottest day ever recorded on planet Earth was 54.4 degrees centigrade in the Death Valley of USA. It is a recorded data, okay? Now that is getting beaten in Dubai every year. Dubai is this time has found out the worst weather, but just one day weather, right? It was one day in 1913 in Death Valley, 54.4 degrees centigrade. While we talk about climate, and this is why this photograph is very important. Look at the photograph. Look at the photograph. Of course, this is not Himalayan region. This is in United States where there is a cactus, right? A desert where definitely there is no rain enough happening. Then there is a barren, foothill of a hill. And then you have a snow as well. Can you see that? All three in one. So that's the region, that's the location we are talking about, where everything gets impacted when we are talking about climate. All three got impacted. But when you are talking about weather, can you see the left hand side figure? Yeah, it's a momentary. It's happening that point in time. Somebody has rightly said 30 years is the recorded average. Always you take that moving average, right? It's a stable and slow moving. So if there is a change happen in 30 year, that will be recorded as climate. For example, Bangalore climate is warm and humid year round with monsoon season changing in June to July to August. Climate is a regional to global phenomena. Always remember, we talk about earth climate. Climate change happens over decade and centuries. Now, whenever next time somebody asks you, you always give them three things to compare. Three things. Write it down. And those three things, how to differentiate between weather and climate is time frame. Everybody hands down said hours to days, weather, decades to century, climate. That's the time frame argument. Second argument is area. Weather is always localized, everybody said. And then climate is regional and global. Third variable is variability itself. Remember, weather is highly variable while climate is a long-term pattern change. Today, rain, heat wave, highly variable. But India monsoon pattern changing, Arctic warming trend happening is a climate change. Got it? Now, if that you have understood, let me give you official definition of climate change. Yes, this comes from United Nations Climate Action Group. They define these kind of earthly phenomena. United Nations Framework Convention on Climate Change has created a climate science body, and that happened in 1992. UNFCCC was formed as a like secretary, right? You have several UN bodies, UNDP, UN Security, Council, UNSC. Yeah. Similarly, they formed another council for planet Earth. Earlier, the name was United Nation WEP, weather, environmental body. They changed that name and they created an independent body called IPCC, okay, Intergovernmental Panel for Climate Change. That's the body which does the climate science. And they defined it climate change simply is a long term shift in the global temperature and weather pattern. So when climate changes, automatically weather also changes. The pattern of weather changes. Clear? So that linkage you should always remember. What is causing? They said, obviously, naturally greenhouse gases have always been in the atmosphere. What has changed is the human based. The trapping of heat, which keeps the earth warm, is required. In a couple of slides later, I will show you a video where it will say very clearly it is required. If it is not there, we will die of freezing. Earth would have frozen as a rock. But since industrial revolution, the humans have been burning coal, oil, gas, pumping extra carbon dioxide, methane, and other gases into air. We have increased the atmospheric carbon dioxide by 50% alone. Whole planet Earth for millions of years has never contributed so much so to the climate change that we did it in 150 years. That's the challenge, ladies and gentlemen, in this room. 150 year. Planet is there, at least billions of years, right? I'm saying million of years, there is some kind of organic matter on the planet Earth. Out of that 150 year, we contributed 50% of that much which they did it. And in one of the slide, I will show you that graph as well. And I will ask you a question. So be ready for that. So too much of heat getting trapped by this carbon dioxide is the problem which we are fixing through climate science. Clear, everyone? That is what we are fixing. Clear? Now, what is driving this climate change? Now, this is too much on the slide, but what it means is very simple. Four thing is driving the climate change. You guys can take a screenshot. I believe you can take it. Four thing is actually driving the climate change. The first one is fossil fuel combustion. That is the biggest source on planet Earth. 70% of global emission comes from oil and gas burning. In 2023, fossil fuel provided 82% of global energy even. That number has changed after that. Okay, India used to have such kind of huge number where fossil fuel contribution to energy was very high. Now it is less than 50%, 49% to be exact this year. This year in January, we have changed that mix. We have more solar power in India today. That means we are still heavily dependent on carbon intensive energy. A flight from Delhi to Riyadh is about 4 tons of carbon dioxide per person. Means 4 ton is, of course, I am talking up to New York, but even though Saudi Arabia, if the SAF is not there, it will be around 1 ton. 1 ton. That's the same as a year worth of emission for an average person of India. Full year, Dronesh or Alakesh ji, we emit generally 4 ton to 8 ton based on what lifestyle we are living. One flight from here to New York has so much of emission. That's the problem. Second problem is industrial processes. That contributes 6%. And here comes the question. Remember this question and we will be answering it later. If industrial process only contributes to 6%, why company needs to improve? Remember this question, we'll be answering slowly. Clear? It's a 6%. That's the reality. Cement, steel, chemical, making this material releases carbon dioxide. Fact is, cement production alone contributes to 8% of global carbon dioxide emission. Okay? 1 ton of cement today is equivalent to 1 ton of carbon dioxide. Just imagine that. Third is agriculture. It contributes massive amount of emission. Agriculture and land use, if you take the total, it will exceed a huge number. Right now, we are assuming 11% in this equation. Livestock, specifically cattle, releases the largest methane. That's why you must have heard most of the food industry, yeah, specifically the red meat industry, is counted. They count themselves as the major emitter. They have to take massive action. So big opportunities there in red meat industry today. Big opportunity for carbon dioxide reduction, methane reduction, okay, GHG reduction. Big opportunity. Many of those company has hired many of the consultant parallelly to see how they can optimize their carbon release. So agriculture, land use is a new frontier which nobody wants to touch right now, except few countries like China, Malaysia. They are addressing it at very faster scale. Yeah, they have adopted, rice variety which does not emit and does not require any water, hence no emission. Now, how the water and the paddy is linked? Anyone? Without water, can you grow paddy? Absolutely not, right? So nowadays there are a strain of variety which you can grow it. And why water and greenhouse is paddy, water and greenhouse gas is linked? Anyone? How that is linked? And I'm not talking about water scarcity. Okay, Tahir, go ahead, please. Yes.
Thank you, sir. It's a question. I need one clarity that we have the four categories for fossil fuel combustion and industrial process.
Yes.
Uh, Here, I need the clarity why we have kept the industrial separate category, because if we see in the industrial as well, the fossil fuel combustion is the source of in
Exactly. This is the question I
GHGs.
left. This is the question I left for answering later. And I will be answering now only because you are confused, so I will answer it. Okay. But let me first ask a different question, which I have asked. How the water, paddy, and GHG is linked? Somebody is answering in chat box.
So water absorb the heat.
Correct. The rotting of rice happen. When paddy is in the water, it releases methane, massive amount of methane. Okay, and that is how the link is. Now the question which you ask, industrial processes separated to the fossil fuel combustion, because even in there are two part of emissions which we'll be answering in scope 1. When we'll go in counting scope 1, you will see there are four different categories. Category number 1 will be stationary combustion. That is fossil fuel based stationary combustion, and that comes here. So even though it's a part of company operation, it will be separated out because there is a direct fossil fuel combustion for heating your furnaces, right? For putting it into your DG set, DG backup. But industrial process specifically covers the chemical reaction part, like calcination. How much emission comes from that process is accounted here. That's why that two numbers, and industrial process is less. This 40% is yours, also your responsibility. Yes, if you are owning an oil and gas company, it's your scope 3 because your consumer releases that carbon dioxide, right? When Darshit drives that bike or a car, he releases that emission. Who has produced that oil? That oil company. But oil company will count this into scope 3. Darshit will count into scope 1 because he's using it, mobile combustion. He owns that bike. Of course, we will be defining that later. That's why I said, remember this question and I will be answering very soon. Clear? The last one is West and others. Yeah. Today, that is also contributing to a huge amount. That's why you must have heard many initiatives, including government, has taken on converting waste into energy rather than throwing it. Because landfill is a massive problem for many countries. Bottom line is this: 75% of global emission come from energy production, and you cannot avoid that. Whole world is dependent on energy, and this is the homework number 1, guys. Homework number 1 is there is a very famous podcast. This is the Indian podcast, but still I'm recommending it. Watch out an interview of Elon Musk to Nitin Kamath. Have you heard about this guy, Nitin Kamath? It's a leader. Means he gets invited by White House to give presentation, and he's a nothing but a capitalist, right? He runs Giroda and many investment he does in the business. So he's a nothing but capitalist. So that guy has interviewed Elon Musk in 2025, a very famous podcast. Around 30 minutes of that discussion, Elon Musk is talking about how money will lose its relevance and energy will be your new currency. Listen in that podcast. That's your work. You can use LLM, just get a summary of it if you want, but look into that part. Ask question to your large language model as well. Give me the exact context where they have talked about this and what is that scenario. So tomorrow, today is 75%, right? Tomorrow it will be 100% emitter if we don't change our energy mix. That is the threat because your currency will be virtual currency, right? Nobody now carries dollar or rupees. Only people who deal in cash are carrying it. Yes, most of the people have gone to the virtual currency or digital currency, and young people like Darsit might be in Bitcoin as well, right? Cryptocurrency. They don't want all this currency. They don't believe it. Correct or wrong? The point here is that is nothing but energy, right? Just look at the basics there, and that is why that homework is there. Everybody has to watch. I need only 50 words notation or notes in the chat box, your group chat box. What is your understanding about that energy becoming the core currency, how that will impact everybody's life, how that will impact climate? 50-word summary everybody has to post. That's the homework number one for tomorrow, and we will have the cap. Now, you have understood these five parts, and bottom line, let me also ask you one last question. What climate change is and what pollution is? Are they both same? Many people are confused with this. When you will ask them greenhouse gases, you were there, right? Everybody was there in the free class, right? People were writing ozone, they were writing, oxygen. You feel it and they were writing. They are not wrong, but their context is wrong. Okay, you have to understand there is difference between climate change and pollution. Pollution is specifically three things: NOx, SOx, and particulate matter. Right? Anybody who knows the difference between these three, SOx, NOx, and particulate matter? Yeah, and there are two type of PM which you should be concerned about. One is 2.5, PM 2.5, and another is PM 10. Because these two again are invisible and hits your lungs directly. Remember, pollution is nothing but which impacts your health immediately. Greenhouse gas will not impact your health immediately. It has a long-term trend. Clear? That's the real difference between these two. Climate, obviously, climate change has a global impact. Pollution will be always having the localized impact. Pollution has more of health hazard like acid rain, eutrophication. And there is a case study on acid rain, and you will see that the people, same people today who are saying that this is India, China, problem, not our problem, have actually got stuck in this situation and created a system which is world leading system. They don't accept it that climate science is a real science. They say it's a hawk science. Yeah. But they themselves has adopted at some point in time this science and get out of something which was really threatening their civilization. Clear? Now, if that is clear, remember climate change is different than air pollution. Air pollution is all about PM, NOx, SOx, and volatile organic compounds, VOCs. VOCs, yeah, important, very important. Impact area in climate change is global, pollution is local. Primary concern here is long-term warming, ecosystem shift, that is climate change problem. Pollution always talks about health impact, visibility, and toxin in air. Example is Arctic ice loss is a climate change issue. It has nothing to do with pollution. But smoke in Delhi or in Karachi, I heard in Karachi also it is there too much, or in Sharjah to Dubai road, you must be finding that problem, is the problem of pollution. Okay. Every developed city has faced this problem at some point in time. Now, let me give you another story, which is the original climate win. This is the first climate win ever people have seen. And this happened in a country which today declines all the science which they were part of. Okay, that's the beauty of certain, breed of people, right? They change very fast, then they change completely. Sulfur, nitrogen, absolutely correct. Yeah, NOx is nothing but nitrous oxide, NO3, right? Exhaust from the vehicle, absolutely correct. Good job, Darshit. Now, Original win is this newspaper which you are seeing in front of you. It's a very old newspaper. Let me start with a question here. Tell you, what if I told you the world first successful carbon market wasn't created to fight climate change? It has nothing to do with the climate change. In 1980s, people were not concerned about climate change. And I will be also telling you a story of 1983 when lady at the helm of affair, her name is Brundtland. Yeah, Brundtland. She has been appointed as a chief of commission by United Nations, you know, WEP. UNWEP was the body who appointed her as a chair of this commission. And she published a book after 5 years of research called, and you should know that book, and that's your second homework. Please find out the book name which Brundtland Commission published and changed the world with the sustainability development as a word. First time it got introduced. Sustainability development was introduced first time in that book. What was the book name? That's a real search. You can do it quick and tell us in the chat box as well. If you can find it, then it will not be your homework. That's where 1987 first time world realized that we should develop but sustainably. 87. This crisis which I am referring to, this newspaper cutting which I am citing, it comes from 1980s, before that event. Factories were booming in United States, specifically the power plant, were burning coal more than India, China together. Day and night. Economy looked very strong in United States. China picked up later in 1980s, but peak was United States at that point in time. And then something strange happened. Lakes begin turning lifeless. Fish starting disappearing in their rivers and lakes. Entire forest in North America, Europe even, began to dying from top down. This is 1980, not very old story I'm telling you. Scientists discovered something very shocking. And they realized the rain which was happening in those areas itself has become acidic in nature. Tahir Mohammed, you are right. Yeah, the book name, absolutely correct, Darsit. Our Common Future. It was published in 1987 by Brundtland Commission. Absolutely correct. Good job, Darsit. Scientists discovered something shocking, which Tahir said acidic rain. Coal fired plants in those locations were releasing sulfur dioxide, SO2, into the atmosphere. It got mixed with water vapor and returned as acid rain. And when it gets with fog, it becomes a smog. That same SO2 we are talking and facing problem in Delhi. China also has faced, but thankfully China put a regulation, and they have a capability of, with iron fist they can implement it. They implemented it last 4 years in Beijing, which was the worst polluted area. Their smoke was lethal than Delhi one. Beijing, huh? I'm talking about Beijing. Just do a little research on that. Okay, this is your homework as well. Okay, guys, you have to submit a 200 word 200 word case description on Beijing coming out of smoke scenario of 2021. First time when they implemented the regulation, what exactly has happened since 2021 till date? You have to create a 200 word case description on a smoke of Beijing and how they overcome it. Can somebody write this into our WhatsApp group? Can somebody do that favor? Can somebody write that in WhatsApp group? Darshit, can you write it? You are active, so let me ask you. Yeah, this is the homework number 2. Yeah, the our common future you have already explained, so it's fine. Okay, can you write it? Yes. Once you have written, just give a thumbs up. So I know it's been done. Homework number 2 is write about a smoke in Beijing and how Beijing overcome that scenario, how it cured it. For last 4 years, their pollution in atmosphere is below 200. Go to Delhi, in normal circumstances, you will find AQI of 400. That's why the Chief Minister of Delhi was, you know, famously touted when one of the leading player, one of the FIFA player was in India for a tour. Do you know what the name of that player? Yeah, when he was taking a tour in, yes, correct, Messi. Yeah, Messi was here. So when he went to Delhi in the stadium, people started shouting a slogan called AQI. They were saying to the chief minister of that state because he promised about AQI reducing in Delhi. And what did she did? She started spraying water on the AQI meters. So wherever AQI meter were there, they used to go and spray the water. Automatically AQI went down, and that's why people have booed her when Messi was there in the ground. So that becomes a very shameful activity at that point in time. Now the point here is America has faced this problem too. The entire forest of North America was dying, right? Scientists discovered that this is due to acid rain. And the moment they came to know, they started digging on. And somebody said in the beginning that we need to find the source. Coal-fired power plants were the source, which were releasing sulfur dioxide in the atmosphere. And it got mixed with water vapor, and automatically they started happening. Kilometers of kilometers, ecosystem got damaged. And those were the pictures in front of you. And this became, of course, high country news, and everybody reported it. So people were frightened about this. Nobody wanted to go outside in the rainy season, which we enjoy, right? Newspaper called a national environmental crisis. Government faced dilemma how to fix this. I cannot compromise on energy supply. At the same time, acid rain is destroying the whole ecosystem and people are getting agitated. Nobody agreed in 1980 beginning for 2 years how to tackle this situation. Then someone proposed an unusual idea. Instead of telling every factory to exactly how to reduce pollution, they created a system which today known as cap and trade system. Okay. They said, what if we cap total emission? We say that you cannot emit more than this number and let company trade the right to emit. If there is a cap and you want to emit more, then buy it from the market. Let's you pay that. This was a radical idea. Remember the first story of our introduction? Similar idea came from United States GHGRP program, which we'll be learning in couple of session. In couple of session, we'll be learning that. Yes, air quality index. Absolutely correct, Tahir. Thank you. Yes, that is what has happened. In 1990s, United States passed a law called Clean Air Act Amendments. Clean Air Act Amendment. The goal was simple, cut the sulfur dioxide emission by roughly by 50% compared to 1980 levels. The system launched in 1995 formally under Environmental Protection Agency. We will be learning about that particular law and the scheme little later. Let me move on to another point of view. So how to know what exactly is the impact? Okay, there is a climate science. I hope I have convinced everyone that there is a climate change. Did I do that? Put yes in chat box if you are convinced that yes, there was a climate change. It is happening as we speak. I have faced it myself. Put yes in chat box if you now is convinced there is a climate change and we can do something about it. Right? And I can see now Darsit is typing, Shubham is typing, Divya is typing. Yes, we can do something about it, right? It is happening and we can take some action. But still there are some people like Trump who can say, show me the proof. Yeah. Otherwise, drill baby drill. Dance on that music. Clear? Dronesh says yes. Bilas says yes. Lakesh says yes. There is a problem and there is a evidence. Let me show you the evidence now. Before you go any further, let me show you 8,000 years data in front of you. Take a look at this graph carefully for just 3 seconds. Most people see a line. Scientists see a confession. This is one of the most important graph ever got created today. And this is nothing but Earth natural rhythm which got disturbed. For 800,000 years, long before the cities and human civilizations and factories I'm talking about. I'm talking about that data which is scientifically collected. Even agriculture, carbon dioxide naturally rose only happened in this years. Here, 10,000 years. That's the history we have. How many years of history we have? Historical evidences for human being active, 10,000 years. Planet had a rhythm, and this is that rhythm. Can you see this rhythm? Going up, coming down, going up, coming down. Do you see anywhere it is gone up and not coming down? It's only happening now. Again and again, up and down, 800,000 years of balance. Now look at far from right graph. Can you see this red and a steep line? It's like a stick which is heading, which is gifted to us by our predecessors. This is the stick. Do you want to give only the red stick to your children? How many of you want to give this only red stick to your children? They will ever forget you. You are not forgiving people who has given you this straight line. Do you believe this red line is stick when you will pass it to next generation? They will forgive you? Gen Z, Gen Alpha, you know them, right? Better than me, actually. It's us in 1911, atmospheric carbon dioxide was on an average 300 ppm. Particulate matter is measured always in ppm, part per million. Okay? Part per million. It was part per million in 1 million. If just imagine dust you are collecting, 300 of those particles, dust particles, was the average of carbon dioxide. Now that has been broken. 1958, it climbed down to 315. People thought it's fine. Then it climbed to 420. Then people realized, boss, gone. Today it is 442. It's not coming down. This change that took nature hundreds of thousands of years to avoid, we have created just over a century. 100 year में अपना काम बना दिया है. जॉर्ज डब्ल्यू बी व्हाइट हाउस आर्काइव में ये डेटा पड़ा हुआ है, वहां से लोग एक्सेस करते हैं. दे आर एक्सेसिंग फ्रॉम NOAA Mauna Loa CO2 record. Now, my question to you is how scientists know, first of all, how scientists collected 800,000 years of data? When there was no human history, how did we collect it? Sumam is saying mind blown. Absolutely mind blown. Yes, yes. Tell me, guys, click, quick, 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 quick. How did they collected this data? What is the methodology they might have adopted? What is that scientific methodology? Somebody is saying fossil fuel study. Okay. Go ahead, tell me. Quick. Soil testing, fossil fuel testing. Very good, very good. Yes, I will tell you how they did it. The best way to check your history is ice sheet. Because you know what is the property of ice? It preserves everything intact. Yeah. So in glaciers, when you do the rigs, Tahir must be knowing, Alakesh ji must be. Anybody who has worked in oil and gas, they know it.
So from eyes, I remember one thing I would like to share.
Please, please go ahead.
When we used to see, sir, that I mean, if anyone has seen or not, that dinosaurs movie,
Yes,
Jurassic Park. Okay?
correct.
So in that, there, I mean, some things are, I mean, those their what I can say, their particles or whatever it is, they
Yeah,
are captured in that solid material. Okay, from that they extracted and they when they came to know this is spices that, this is spices that, and from that, because they also didn't know, so
correct.
I think
Correct. And that is how they knew. They did the borehole in Arctic regions wherever there is a layer of ice from centuries. Yes, after the ice age, that has not melted. And that is where they have taken this boreholes. And when they took the boreholes, based on layers, they know which year those layers are, right? Because ice sheets gets add up, right? In winter, definitely it will add and then in summer it will go little down. Again, it will add, go down. They have checked the carbon content in those particular, carbon dating. You must be knowing carbon dating, right? Through which they judge that this Jurassic Park, era, or how they judge the timeline. They do by carbon dating. So they looked into the carbon content there and they saw it used to go up to 260, 270, but used to come down as well. Only when we started putting fossil fuel in atmosphere, we saw that it is not coming back. And that's the first evidence. So next time anybody challenges you, just tell them to search NOAA, Mauna Loa carbon dioxide record, and get convinced yourself that what fossil fuel is doing to the atmosphere. That's the first one. Let me show you another evidence, second evidence. Once the video is running, just let me know. This is 25-year recent data collected by satellite, European satellite. Okay, this time not American, this time European. So let's go to and watch that what exactly has happened in 25 year of record. This is 1990. Oh, sorry. Yeah, watch this. There is no music here. This is the Arctic Ocean. This is the physical proof, by the way, of disappearing ice. In 1979, Arctic Sea ice covered was 7 million. It was 7 million. How much it reduced by 2024? 4 million kilometers square. That's what is left now. 43% gone, ice cover. Rate of loss is 13% per decade since 1979. And this is exactly that graph shows. What did this mean? Arctic is warming 2 to 3 times faster than the rest of the planet, ladies and gentlemen. That's the alarming situation. There is one country which has, announced emergency in the beginning of 2023. You know which country it is? And what is that phenomena they are worried about? The country is Nordic country called Norway, Netherlands, which has announced emergency, climate emergency. This is their national emergency they have announced. Search about it and make a one-liner statement in the chat box. So this is the homework number 3 for you guys, okay? What is that challenge? There is a very beautiful acronym there. Find out that acronym which Netherlands is facing and announce the national emergency, which is shown in this graph as well. That's the proof number 2. And let me give you the last proof. How many of you have heard about a city called Venice? Have you seen that boat riding happening? Beautiful place. Yeah, we love that city, right? City of Venice. City of Venice. The boat rides. Have you seen ever? In at least in TV, if you have not gone. Yeah, that city is sinking. There is one city called Telio, sank. One country next to Australia sank underwater today. Okay. This is why that is happening. That is another evidence of climate change. Sea levels are continue to rise and they are rising again at exponential levels. This is the third evidence which you should give to people who are not agreeing or they think it's a hoax. 750 carbon dioxide per million, as I told you, was 280 ppm. It reached to 420. Impact is since 1993, the level of sea rise, and sea rise, even India is facing it. Go to Madras, Chennai, yeah. Go to low-lying area. The prices of those property which has a basement is gone down. Can you imagine that? Prices of property which has a basement in Bangalore has gone down. Last 3 years, we are facing a flood where basement, if you have a basement in your villa, your prices of your villa will be lower compared to if you are in high-rise building or in the upper layer. Clear? And that is happening. That is happening in Kerala, that is happening in Chennai, that is happening in you name it. All coastal area is getting impacted by it. Okay, and massive amount of financing is required to create those barriers to adoption. And that here, let me introduce two terms to you guys. One is climate mitigation, another is climate adoption. Okay, so climate mitigation is what you can take action, right? But climate adoption is where you can't take any action, you have to adopt. Like change of temperature, it has happened. Drones, you have to adopt now in
Yeah.
climate. It's not going to reverse in next 1 year. Okay, there
So
is
on this, sorry to interrupt. So I have two things to say. I mean, now I have seen earlier, somewhere, but in the report they are saying that by 2050, US beaches will be submerged.
correct. Absolutely. Many of
And
those, if they don't create the embankment. And that is why you
yeah,
must have
and
seen that trapezoidal structure, civil structure on marine lines.
marine
Uh,
lines.
yeah,
Yeah,
those
Japan. Japan has made, I think, a 400-kilometer wall,
you have
which
to make. India,
yeah,
instead of creating a wall, they decided a coastal Swarnamala. Have
coastal
you heard
city.
about that story where
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
making a road on the coastal area?
Road.
They are
Yeah,
selling that it's a beautification and you will feel like you are in United States driving on those roads. The reason is they want to increase the embankment there.
embankment. Yeah, correct.
Go to Manipal. Manipal has a beautiful, again, beachfront. My father has studied in
Yeah,
Manipal Institute of Technology, and he used to tell people used to go on those beaches very easily. Now they have created several, again, similar kind of structure has been created for people to go. So that's the real change. You can't access the beach as clean as it used to be everywhere. Okay. And that's the real change which is happening today. So, guys, I hope the basics have started building up. If you have any question, we have another 5-10 minutes. Please ask. Otherwise, we'll close this a little early. Reason is you have some homework to complete. Please finish those. Post in the group. You have till tomorrow time. Day after tomorrow, again, we will meet at 7 p.m. sharp. If you have a question, please go ahead. Anyone?
Sir, could you
Yes.
please repeat the what was the homework number one? My connection was.
So one by one, please. One by one, one by one. If everybody will ask, I can't answer. So, Darshit, you go ahead, Darshit.
What was the first homework? I lost the connection, so I didn't hear that.
First homework you are saying, right? Sorry, I didn't get.
Yes.
Anybody remembers the first homework, please? Please chip in.
The podcast of Elon Musk and anything
Absolutely.
come up
Yeah.
with we have to write up 50 words.
50 words that what is all about energy becoming the currency. Okay. That's the
Anything come
homework
up.
number one. Thank you, Divya.
50 minutes. Okay, thank you.
Yeah, please write it down. That's it. Now it is your penalty that you have to write in WhatsApp group as well. Homework number one, that watch that video or use LLM. I don't mind whatever way you are comfortable with. And find out that piece where Elon Musk is talking about how energy is becoming currency and how that will impact environment is what you need to write. How that will impact the climate, that's what you need to write. And that's why we need to change the energy mix. Clear? So these are the two homeworks and the third one we just took. Anybody can repeat that as well? Third homework. The
yeah.
city,
The challenge.
the country, yeah,
Yeah,
which has declared emergency in Europe because of one of the climate phenomena, which is rare event. Okay, it's a cooling down and heating of sea. Due to that, it happens, and that is what you have to find it out. What is that reason? And put that into the chat box again. So three homework, everybody, no exceptions. Okay, it's going on record, so you can't give me excuse that sir I was not there in class. If you are watching this video, make sure these three homework you are doing it. This is for you, not for me. You are not kid, I know, but still I want you to spend tomorrow working on this exercise. That's why every day you have to meet your own self. We will be meeting every alternate day. Take care. Any other question, by the way? Any other question?
Sir, I have one question.
Please ask.
Yeah. So the question is, uh, we understood, from every sector, every segment, how carbon is genetic, but the main thing, when I see some movies or, this is basically to come out and interact with the movie only when it comes about the radioactive parts,
Yes.
like radium, thorium, and these
Uranium.
elements. Yeah. So I was watching one movie based on atomic, okay, radioactive, where they dumped, okay, underground, not underground, the on the soil, okay, but they covered the soil only, so it becomes the mountain, and on that, I mean, this is a real example where north of St. Louis is made up. I mean, the house is being created there. So they have built, I mean, the canal. So whatever happens on that land, it doesn't trespass to the people who are living. Okay?
Yes.
So it's very near St. Louis, north of St. Louis. So they
Yes.
dumped the, I mean, in the US, I think it is started from there only, atomic parts. So I want to understand what kind of, I mean, how much the carbon is producing, because uh, it is dumped totally, but it is still affecting. And when the rain is coming, so what happens? The level of canal increases, and the water which is flooding throughout or going around the houses. So it involving with the soil. Okay, so it is also getting radiated, and soon, and it is like, I think, the 1988 story, so which is still not solved by EPA, Environmental Protection Agency. So they are still denying that there is no contamination, and it is a protected land. So I want to understand carbon related, how much carbon it is going to produce, or it is affecting in other way also, not.
So first thing you have to understand, radioactivity itself has a its own effect. Okay,
Yeah.
radioactivity. You must be knowing that carbon dioxide and radioactivity is a two different thing. But
Okay.
radioactivity and carbon dioxide do interact with each other in environment, primarily through carbon 14 tracing. Okay, there is
Okay.
of course little technical part of it, and or
Hmm.
fossil fuel dilution of the atmosphere, which is parallel to
Yeah.
geological waste disposal as well. What
Hmm.
we have to understand here is that cosmic rays, which gets created due to radioactivity, right,
Hmm.
becomes carbon 14, which turns into carbon dioxide. There is a process to
Yeah.
it. Okay. So while burning fossil fuel releases massive amount immediately, those are non-reactive carbon dioxide, right?
Yeah.
It alters this isotope balance as well. And there we have a problem. So carbon 14, right, creation, which hits the nitrogen in the air, radioactivity carbon 14, which quickly
Right.
bonds to carbon dioxide and enter into food chain or your water system is the problem, not them themselves as a carbon dioxide is a problem. Okay. So fossil
Right.
fuel dilution is a problem. Definitely that gets added to your GHG emissions as well. But what happens to
Okay.
your food and your water is what you are citing that movie, St. Louis movie, or I don't know. I have not.
Yeah.
Please send the link of that movie, miss. We love to watch such kind of.
Yeah,
Please
definitely. I
do that.
mean,
Okay.
yeah, no, it's very interesting. I mean, it's I have taken as a case study only. I mean,
Oh,
this is a
nice.
very, but it is very interesting because it stated like 20, more than 20 years, and still EPA is denying that there is no contamination or land is
There
affecting to
was
the
one
people.
story I have seen where there is a lakes to lakes, it is getting polluted, and the resident
Yeah,
can complain, and nobody is taking action because there was a bribery
mm,
action, bribery part to it, or
tribal count.
the policy getting
I'll
enforced.
I'll share definitely,
But
sir.
do share the link so anybody has
Yeah,
this. But radiocarbon and geological carbon both has a different kind of when
different.
they react to each other, they have a further accelerated event.
Yeah,
But that doesn't mean that radioactivity is bad. Okay. Radioactivity in its own self is bad. Of course, if you are generating radioactive waste and it goes into landfill, which is this case,
yeah,
creates a massive problem. But now that is used as low carbon technology. Please understand, uranium based energy in the energy mix is still better, and that is what we are going to discuss in couple of class later. Okay, we will be talking
mhm,
about that SMR technology and how that is helping. You will be having a reading material. Of course, I will not deliver a lecture on it, but I will send you a docket on low LT-LED system, right? We have promised we will give you that docket. If you'll read that, you will find that how low carbon is a better transition than no carbon. No carbon is very difficult to transition. Okay, it looks very easy, but very difficult to do it. China is still not able to do it. However, they have a massive solar panel production. Still, they are unable to cross that threshold of energy mix. Clear? It's impossible. It's like giving a shock, electric shock. It might jolt your mind and you become brilliant, but you may die as well. You never know.
Yeah.
Yes. So giving an electric shock is not good idea. And that's what people should avoid while transiting themselves from being a carbon or fossil fuel dependent economy to non-fossil fuel. Okay, it's not an easy journey. And that's why LT-LED is that bridge. We will be sharing that with you when we will talk about national policy, national determined contribution, etc., which will be happening in next to next class. So be wait for that. We'll be talking that for sure. Thank you for asking such kind of nice questions and sharing that video as well for others to you learn from. Thank you. Any other question? Anyone? Vilasji, any question?
Uh,
Is
sir,
the class okay? Is the pace is okay? Class pace is okay. I'm going little slow. It will accelerate. Trust me, it will accelerate. So it is okay if we go slow initially. It's fine.
yes, sir. It is fine. Hello.
Yes, yes, yeah, please. I'm listening you.
Sir, irregular rainfall in Maharashtra I observed in last 2 years. There
Yes,
is heavy rainfall in some region and very minimum rainfall in some region.
correct.
This is the climate change also.
Absolutely climate change because pattern has changed. Ratnagiri story I will share with you. The Hapus
Yes, sir.
mango yield has gone down suddenly in 1 year, 2023. Same
Okay.
year which I was referring to Karnataka, Chikmagalur. In Ratnagiri also has a similar story. And farmer were puzzled. They thought that 2022, 21 anyway, there was no sale of mangoes too
Yes,
much.
yes.
22, 21 also they suffered. 22 they thought they will have a good yield and they will sell it. The demand was there, but they don't have produce. Yes, the only price gap has helped them. That's why Hapus mango is very costly today. It's gone too high. Only now
Too high.
US people can enjoy Hapus. Indians are suffering right now with the price which it have. Yeah, one of the famous mango of Maharashtra. So that is a trend has changed. The point is trend has changed. Yeah. So and tree doesn't adopt so fast. It is adopting. That reason has stabilized in 2026, but it's still not so fast. Yeah. And that's a climate change. When trend or timing changes of weather, that's a
Already.
climate
Yes,
change.
timing change. Okay.
Any other question? And it is very basic. Few of you might be thinking, ये तो मुझे सारा आता है. Why I should even hear Vivek? You should hear. Just be patient with me for a couple of classes. Okay, let me bring everybody on the same level. Then we will go deep. Yeah, clear
It
everyone?
is very interesting, sir.
Oh, thank you very much. Appreciate it, Vilas. Okay. Any other question or shall we close? Biswas, are you okay? Finance to environment, it's fine. Yeah. Okay. Great. See you guys day after tomorrow, same time, 7 p.m. Take care. Bye bye.
Yes.
And
Thank
sabak
you.
khair.
Thank you, sir. Thank you all.
Bye.